Hi, fellow Fort Hays students. My name is Shay Twinter. I'm going to apologize in advance for all the noise that you hear. I am currently sitting outside of a McDonald's because my home Wi-Fi just went on the fritz. So, this is my presentation for EDL 853 Module 3. I really enjoyed this one. It had some really nice conversations with my principal and the pair that I work with and the SPED teacher that I work with. And I could have almost predicted some of the things that they said, but they had some really great takeaways as well. So in Missouri, we don't call it child find, but we have a system that we're using at Rainbow Peculiar where I work, and it's RTI, and we tier the students in forms of interventions. They're either a tier 1 or a tier 2 or a tier 3. My principal, Katie Campbell, first off, we usually identify students for special services by either a parent referral or by a teacher referral. And teacher referrals are usually because students have been placed in Tier 2 interventions or in Tier 3 interventions, 3 being more serious interventions, and they're not making gains. They're not making any progress, nothing is working. Those are the prime subjects for referral to special education courses, just in order to get the skills and the assistance that they need. Our SPED teacher, Tracy Elliott, I'm at the middle school level. For us, it's definitely parent or teacher recommendation, but some screening will happen in early elementary, like, kindergarten or first grade. But then after that, a lot of times it's parents and teachers. My friend, Sandy Williams, who's a para, she is not involved in the identifying part of students for special services. Most challenging part of their job. My principal said that the most challenging part was that she doesn't have a SPED background, not knowing enough about the laws governing SPED so that she can make sure that us as teachers are in compliance, and then having enough information to be an effective SPED advocate. I really like how she talked about being a SPED advocate and not just a principal. Tracy, our SPED teacher, her biggest, and I've seen this woman work, she's amazing. Her issue is that she is teaching multiple grades at one time. And not only that, but each of these beautiful children in her classroom has a different, level of disability. Some of them are readers and writers, and some of them are nonverbal. And not only is she teaching multiple disability levels, but she's also teaching multiple grades and multiple standards at one time. She doesn't have enough time to collaborate with other teachers. She's not on a team. We are a team school, and she's not on a team, so she's not getting any of that benefit. And then again, working with children that have a large variance of disabilities. Sandy says that the hardest things that she works with as a para is just working with teachers who don't modify for SPED kids. And being a para, they don't really know how to modify subject matter. And I think it really frustrates her. She was able to talk very candidly with me, and I appreciated it. She wants the best for the student, and she wants the best for the subject. And when the teacher wouldn't modify, it made a big difference. I love this part because they all had the same thing to say. Number one thing, the most rewarding part of their job was seeing the students make gains, students making progress. Katie, my principal, said seeing kids move towards their goal of not needing any special education services, or maybe needing less of them. Tracy said it's a bigger celebration for her because SPED kids, they need so much more rewarding. They have such a harder path to take to get to their goal than someone who's not in the special education classroom. Tracy loves the fact that she's spending daily time with these students for multiple years. We're a 6 to 8 building, and so she'll have the kids for multiple hours in a day for 3 years, and she really gets to know them. Our para, Sandy, she loves, and these are her words, being on hand when a SPED student gets it. She loves the light bulb moment. She loves to be able to share in person with parents. She doesn't get to talk to parents a lot. They're actually not allowed to talk to parents a lot. But she likes to share in person with parents when they're at, parent-teacher meetings or whatnot. Just daily stories of success. That's one of her favorite things to do. And then she mentioned, being a co-teacher in the classroom and not just an assistant. She likes pairing with the teacher. So that was a fun conversation. Advice on supervision of personnel. So Katie says just knowing the legalities of what we're required to do. That's, she wants to make sure that she's making sure that everyone's doing that. FERPA is really big, especially with IEPs. We need to make sure that these students, their private information is only being given to those who actually need it. And then just making sure that teachers that need support are getting it. Tracy said that she would like to see a clearer definition of who is sorry, someone is driving over there. Definition of who is responsible for overseeing the paras, because she as a sped teacher isn't responsible for the para, but she is responsible for what they do. So her request was, hey, I'd like to see a clear definition, and I think maybe that's something our district can work on. Sandy said just to make sure that each teacher is fully informed on what student with an IEP is needed. I teach multiple grade levels. I teach, 50 students at a time. It's very easy for a kid with an IEP to get left off the list. And so that's, a big thing. And just anyone who might have a connection with that student needs to know about their IEP and what it says. How to work with parents of SPED students. Katie, she kind of took a harder line, and I saw definitely what she was saying, and then Tracy followed up with something a little softer, so we had both sides. Katie said sometimes the parent needs an education on what services are provided to a student, and she went on even to say what students, like what that service is intended to do. An IEP doesn't guarantee an A or a B. The IEP guarantees extra support, and then the student takes it from there. Tracy, our SPED teacher, says she's constant communication. She has nonverbal kids, and so she is daily communicating with students, with their families, because the student isn't able to. She really tries hard to build positive relationships with parents at the start, so that they understand that, parent and her, they've got the same goal, the student's success. Now, they may not agree on the path, but that they're all in it for the same goal. And then Sandy said, hey, I don't have contact with parents. I'm not supposed to have contact with parents. So, except, of course, at teacher meetings and such, where Sandy's invited to give input. How to work with regular education teachers. Now, all three of these people and I talked, and we really felt like at our district, it's everyone in for the best of the student. And I know that sounds kind of cliche, but it really, every teacher and every principal and every para, we're all in it for the kids. Katie said make sure that teachers are aware of what's required and what's needed. Tracy said providing regular ed teachers with accommodations, making sure that's supposed to say, sorry, accommodations for SPED students, and making sure regular ed teachers have all the tools they need. I have SPED teachers who come to me and say, hey, so-and-so is really skittish with really loud sounds. Can you give them a heads up when there's on sounds? And as a music teacher, I'm like, yeah, definitely can do that. Sandy says that she likes to talk with regular ed teachers right away at the start to form a partnership and to make a plan. And then she likes to assure the teacher that it is their classroom and that they are ultimately the one in charge. So advice for a first-year administrator. Katie just said know the law. That was her big one, know the law. Tracy said don't forget where you came from. And I think that was really very important thing. Don't forget that you were a teacher and you were in the classroom and you remember what it was like to work with special education students and teachers. You know what they're doing. Sandy said, don't change everything at once, just to show everyone who's boss. Now, if you know Sandy, this is definitely, her sassiness coming through. Open eyes, open ears, open heart, sorry. And just be willing to see how things are done right now. And then, then start making changes. But to get to know your SPED teacher and that classroom before you start mandating changes. So, desired characteristics of an aspiring leader. Katie said someone who is in education because they like working with kids. Not, I want to be a leader, I'm a born leader, I like teaching math, I love teaching science. No, she wants to hear that someone says, hey, I love the kids, I love seeing the kids learn. And then secondly, someone who is organized and can manage all the paperwork. She spent a lot of time talking about making sure someone likes the kids, and then she said, hey, guess what? They also need to be very organized and make sure they have paperwork. Tracy said, someone who is understanding of the daily trials of SPED teachers. Not just the, hey, if I don't get a phone call about you or the email, a negative email, we're good. No, get to really, understand what they're doing and support their classroom, be in their classroom, hands-on, and providing support. Sandy was very, philosophical in her response. She said they need someone who has empathy, compassion to kids with special needs, someone who can be understanding and willing to interact and engage with those special needs students, and someone who is willing to give them attention and the interaction that they desire, because these kids, they want to be treated just like normal students. They want attention, they want interaction, and someone who will stop and take that time will be a hero in their book. So the role description of a SPED teacher and a principal. Katie said, principal is a SPED advocate. That was her big statement, and I loved that. SPED is a lifeline to the kids at the school, and SPED teachers are the specialists of what they do. Tracy said principal is her immediate supervisor, but on top of that, she's got administrators in the special education department that she works with as well. Sandy says that SPED teachers are advocates and educators. They make sure that the students get the support they need, and then the principal makes sure that the SPED teacher gets what they need. So we're all working as a team. Oh, I think I got it. All right, once again, sorry for all the noise. Hopefully my Wi-Fi gets fixed, and I'll talk to you all soon.